Hello, and welcome to the Peas. Plants, poetry, people and places, and prayer. My name is Louis T. Condrick. Today we're going to talk about the family of plants known as ficus. The ficus family of plants. The types of ficus are the mistletoe, creeping ficus, fiddle leaf fig, ficus buxifolia, a banyan tree, a rubber tree, Ficus variegated, weeping Benjamin ficus, the most common, and Ficus ali. Ficus ali is a long, tall, slender plant with thin leaves. It could come braided or a straight trunk up and down. It doesn't lose its leaves like a normal ficus. It actually holds its leaves. A weeping Benjamin ficus, he gets 6 feet tall. So actually, so could a ficus ali get about 6, 7 feet tall. The ficus, weeping Benjamin ficus, winter's leaves turn yellowish or brown and they fall, usually near the bottom. Good thing to do with this plant is to shake it, and that's how you clean the plant. Ficus buxifolia, it's a new type of ficus. It's in a boxwood family. It's a quick growing plant. Ficus lacticea, it's a rubber tree. Large, shiny leaves. They come dark green or sometimes variegated, light color. New leaf growth is usually has a reddish tint in the leaf itself. When these plants, their leaves or the stems break, a sticky sap comes out of the plant itself. And you should try to heal the plant. I've read charcoal and uh, wood shavings that you could seal it with. I personally like the idea of putting soil in an oven for about 200 degrees, sterilizing, and then you can put soil on the wound itself to patch it up. You could do that on any tree. Fiddle leaf fig, medium green plant, fast growing. Creeping ficus, also called the ficus fig. Ficus is a medium to filtered light plant. Direct light could burn the leaves. Rubber trees could live in full shade area, even a dark area, low light area, especially the dark green rubber tree. The darker the color of the leaf, the more shade a plant could take, the lower the light conditions on a plant. Ficus like room temperature, 65, 70 degrees. They don't like the cold. Soil should be well drained, water well, and make sure the water reaches the roots. Too much water will leaves will fall and could cause root rot. Remember this on plants. The leaves on a plant will curl whether being too little water or too much water. They will always curl up. You want to see the leaves standing straight out like they're in front of General Patton in World War II. Fertilize the plant once a month should be sufficient. If the soil is rich and proper, the plant will live off the soil itself. All right. But fertilizing and helping it once a month isn't a bad idea. Miracle Grow, something like that. Osmocote, different plant fertilizers, fish fertilizer. These are all good fertilizers. When repotting this plant, always go one size up. Do not go too large because you'll rot out the plant from the water. The roots won't be able to reach the water on the side, and the water will bring disease in the soil. And every time you water the plant, the water will carry disease to the plant from the soil. It works the same thing outside. That's why you see arborvitaes always die one after another. It's because the water brings the disease from one plant to another. It's the same thing in potted plants. You gotta let the roots get to the water to keep the soil relatively dry to semi-moist. Uh, if you do repot in the spring. These plants do like to be slightly root bound too, all right? They actually force them sometimes to grow better. Some plants love to be very root bound, some plants don't like to be root bound at all. It really depends on the plant. An old trick with rubber trees, it's an old European trick. They clean the leaves with mayonnaise, makes it shine. But you could spray the leaves with leaf shine if you want. Insects that attack a ficus are scale. And to get rid of scale, you got to use systemic type of spray. In other words, the chemicals got to go inside the plant itself. The insect sucks the juice and the chemical out of the plant and it kills the plant. Scale has a shell on it. And you're not going to put anything through the shell. Other types of insects are mealybug, whitefly. Propagation, you could cut a hardwood branch planted in a small pot and put a V at the end of the using a razor, wedge a V inside the stem itself. Remove all leaves. Don't let leaves sit on the soil. You will just die. The plant will just die at that point. Have leaves above the soil, not touching the soil. Take a small little pebble, stick it in the V, jam it into the soil, and then see when water moderately. Don't let it dry out, and you should develop roots. Another way of propagating is you could actually trim the sides of the bark on both sides. That's another way of opening it up and getting more roots growth that way inside the stem. Another way of propagating is what they call air layering. Air layering, you'll take a branch of a plant, and the best way, I mean, like this. Say this is the branch, you're going to lay it all the way down and tie it, and then water the plant. The branch is still attached to normal plant, but the branch eventually will develop roots, and then you can cut the branch and have a new plant that way. It's called air layering. Ficus is a very pleasant plant to have in a house, very ornamental, showy plant. A lot of people do have them, especially the weeping Benjamin ficus, rubber tree, another very common plant in houses. So that's a plant you could think about having in your house that's a little bit larger, and you should be able to take care of it. It shouldn't be too much of a fuss. Just watch for the insects. Remember this, people, including yourself, bring insects to the plant. Plants, unless they're very stressed out, don't call insects. There has to be a lot of stress in that plant for it to want to commit suicide. A plant normally doesn't want insects to be attacking it. In fact, they'll do a lot of things to prevent insects. It'll release certain pheromones, it'll release saps to protect itself. But a plant uh, needs to be Just water moderately. Let it. Remember this too: a plant needs a dry period. All plants need a dry period. They don't need to be constantly wet. Water it, let it dry, then water it again. You feel the top of the soil. Put your finger down. If it feels moist even as you go with your finger down, then let the plant go for another day or so. Then water it. Don't be overwatering the plant. That's what will kill and stress out the plant. Give it the right sunlight. Don't be moving the plant all around. Every time you move a plant, you put in stress. All right. The poem I'm going to read you today, it's called Indoor Color. I entered the house of my Aunt Millie. On the porch was a large flowering peace lily. Large spiked flowers that were pearly white. Dracaena marginata stands on the right. I enter the living room. Two beautiful trees I see. One is a weeping ficus, the other a ficus Ali. A beautiful glazed pot with a Chinese evergreen. Two window boxes with geraniums that need a pinch and a clean. I enter the kitchen area in the back. My Aunt Millie has healthy plants. She has the knack. I see a healthy pothos and spider plant by the window as they hang. Beautiful orchids give the room a bang. As I walk to the front door and I get ready to leave, Aunt Millie says, I have something for you to retrieve. In her hands, she comes out with a Nieva Bella palm. I thank her. You see, plants make me happy. They make me calm. And that was Indoor Color. Now, for people and places today, I'm going to talk a little bit about the lottery. The lottery is a scam by the government. People do win once in a while, but they take your, believe me, they're taking our money no matter everywhere you turn. Registration fees, license fees, tolls, gasoline taxes, sales tax, personal tax, property tax, you name it. There's taxes on everything. It's just too much. Every time you turn around, fees, registrations, insurances, they're in cahoots with different organizations, and we always get the raw end of the stick. The states are creating a disease, and it's called, from gambling disease. The states are responsible for this disease and should be responsible for treating it. I have seen people pump money into lottery machines. One woman won $500 in a local gas and food place, and she wound up putting $20 at a clip back into that machine, saying she was going to win $50 million. I said, "You ain't going to win $50 million." I said, "Won't you take your money and go buy something nice?" She laughed at me, put all the money in, and then she left with nothing from $500 that she won. I know a man that lost his garage car repair business from the lottery. I know a man who told me personally his father and uncle both lost their homes from the lottery. The states have created this, and it created a way of people getting sick. It's the state's fault. It's a scam. The scratch offs, you don't see anybody winning $20 and $30 million. That's a scam. I have never seen all my years heard of anybody win that kind of money. 20, 30, $50 million. I just haven't seen it. Maybe out of one state out of the 50. I wonder how many lottery games are real and which ones are phony. The bottom line, they should be responsible for the whole thing. My prayer goes like this. Good Lord, bless people with gambling disease. Help them. Help their families. Bring justice in this world. By the power of Christ, Holy Spirit, and God. Amen. Thank you, and God bless.